What if by displaying everything you dreamed and hoped for is the only way to make those dreams become reality? What if being so far removed from social media is actually the only way to achieve social media success? What if unexpected greats like Ernest Hemingway used the same approach to achieve their worldwide superstardom? You see, Instagram has often been criticized for promoting procrastination and just general time wasting. And very, very often it's overhyped to be a great tool that, hey, everyone can use to become rich and wealthy, but usually it's only the 1% that are achieving that very, very rare success. But what if we talked directly to that hidden 1% and understood what it is that they do to achieve that success?
I can actually misspell your name for you. And what's your name? Steve?
How do you develop a style?
If you have extreme goals, you can't expect to feel normal.
As long as you do not give up, you simply can't fail. Getting anything done, it starts with just aligning what is my North Star and just executing.
You see, Instagram isn't just a display of cheap virtues and dreams. It's a full-on showcase of the ups and the downs of people that you choose to follow and the people you choose to give your attention and time to. And if you take a really close look, Instagram itself caters to help you paint a picture in specifically 3 formats. That's story, post, and reels. Obviously, there's other ones on the side, but we will not focus on those as they are the much less often used ones. And the 1% of creators have started using these formats in what I'd call the vision board effect. They display success via these always there posts, and they achieve viral growth through reels, and they cater to those that want to see the process rather than the destination through Instagram stories specifically. So as you see, there's 3 very, very strong formats that synergize extremely well to create what we talk about often as an aesthetic for any individual, whatever niche or industry they are in. And the smarter the creator, the better they use these formats to tell a story in a very natural way. You have the beginning or the preface, and then you have the climax, the rising tension, and the very tippity top, and then you have the end or the outcome or the retrospective. Again, whatever you want to call it, but there's a very natural storytelling framework that can be achieved in these 3 different formats of content that are all tied together on one platform, which is again, Instagram. As a creative director, I often get asked, and probably better to say, I often get told, quote unquote, I don't know where to start on Instagram. I don't know what to post. I know it's super important and there's reels and it's all this, the algorithm, blah, 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 but where do I start? And usually I say the same exact thing. It's blatant procrastination. Not knowing what to post is a weak excuse that in 2025 is just gonna get you nowhere and your business will not grow as a result. Most business owners understand that your Instagram is just a walking billboard. It's just an advertising funnel waiting to be used. And it's really not that healthy of a platform for socializing or building an online network. And it works in 3 specific parts: inspiration as a currency, magnetic money, and the paradox of authenticity. Let's talk about each one in detail so you can leverage Instagram to your advantage in building your business, or choose not to use it at all and become a digital minimalist. We've all seen our fair share of gurus and online educators, and I guess I'm not too far from either side of inspirers or the teachers or experts or whatever you want to call them. But statistics clearly show that even with valuable information, it has been outshadowed by valuable inspiration. The real reason is due to the educational push versus the aspirational pull. And it's so simple, and you probably know this already. People don't want to leave their jobs or their schools or the university and be pushed into going and becoming better or learning more with every single post and reel. There's got to be some lack. It's got to be somewhere where it gives and allows people to dream, to explore, to daydream in a sense online. With aspirational pull, you give them and allow them to have a moment of magic, a moment of self-realization that I have to go and do this myself. I have to go and be determined, inspired, whatever you want to say. And on the back end, you really want to give them credit for inspiring themselves and telling themselves, hey, I motivated myself to get here, not David Goggins or whoever else. Let's insert a David Goggins clip. Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs? And often on Instagram with straightforward education, there is a mixture of reality that exists there. Often with educational posts, you have to read a long caption or you have to go subscribe to some sort of newsletter or additional document. Again, it's a real hassle to educate yourself, even if it's on Instagram. But with inspiration, all you have to do is imagine yourself as the next big thing, as the next online millionaire. Not only do you allow the follower to decide if they're gonna keep procrastinating or they're gonna follow that motivation and inspiration, but you also allow their mind to explore greater and greater possibilities. They don't need to take action right away. They can keep dreaming more and more and more. And this is where gurus, experts, content influencers, this is where they stack products that often have zero relation to each other. It'll go from clothing to education to SAS products to, I don't know, car brands. It doesn't connect at all, and it shouldn't make sense. But there's $1 and $100 million businesses being grown every single day. And this all works because that aspiring entrepreneur who watches your content and who follows you, they're being given bigger and bigger dreams until they imagine that they can become the next Fortune 500 CEO. Now, all of this sounds very Black Mirror-ish and quite dark, but it doesn't have to be for you as a follower or as a creator. You don't have to choose the fake it till you make it road. And I really recommend, at least at first, avoiding posting loud content that backs your position of success or expert or whatever it may be. You don't need to go there right away. Really, you don't have to go there at all. And I'm a huge fan, and this will sound ridiculously simple, of the day in the life reels and the backstage coverage. But the real thing, not the BS that we've been fed and scripted backstage, none of that needs to exist.
And well, 7-year-old Gox, you were wrong this time. This is the artist's lifestyle, a clothing collection by Gox.
My ear talk. Live from the moon.
By packaging and displaying absolutely everything that is going on behind the scenes, you are hitting the new target audience, the new generation of entrepreneurs that is raised on the era of backstage content. They're not watching Netflix, they're watching Alex Hormozi, Iman Ghaji, Daniel Dalen, and others. The next Steve Jobs probably won't even have a movie about him. It'll just be 365 days in a row of Instagram reels. In any sense of it, people on social media have realized how grueling and how cruel it is to be competing in the social media environment, especially if you are a business owner. So if you're building a business and grinding social media, it is often a strong magnetism that arises when people know that you're in the trenches and you're putting in effort, not only building the product and, flashing it sometimes, but actually spending a ton of money, resources, emotions, getting the social media going. And often, as I do myself, I talk about, hey, I need the social media thing to pay off because I'm putting a hell of a lot of effort into it. And therefore, again, you can expect the best quality, the best storytelling from me, obviously with evolution. And hopefully I can get something back from you in regards to your attention or maybe your support sometime down the line. I know this is all very open, but it's what the new era of content creators are doing. And Instagram is an amazing platform for exactly that, because you can use something like Instagram stories to have these erasable 24-hour snippets where you connect very honestly, very transparently with your own audience. But the magnet always has another side. Because if the content is lagging in quality or it is inconsistent, that is an easy way to create a negative interpretation in your own existing audience. And even with the compound effects of stories, posts, reels, a few low-quality attempts and the entire lore, everything you've built as your story can come crashing down. But hey, if you are the 1 in a million creator, the downs and the fall-throughs is what's going to make you become successful. Failure, admission, building in public, this is all preferable to lying or to talking about things that you have not achieved yourself. You guys are smart. You, the audience, are really damn smart. So if you go from consumption to production, don't underestimate yourself like so many others do. There's never a road without bumps. So posting content that is always just go lucky, be happy, and going up and up and up and up has a very fast crash and a very fast down course. And we've seen this happen so many times. Again, as bad as and awful as it sounds, all the failures, all the breakups, all the crashes, all the bankruptcies, they have to be recorded. And often with more detail and more prowess and more storytelling and art than even the biggest wins. Because the biggest wins are only highlighted when there's bad moments in the background. And of course, it's backwards, it's strange, it's weird, and again, very Black Mirror-ish. But with audiences so used to everything being uncovered, it's only the most natural thing to do. To show it all, to lay all the cards on the table. With so much online education being available now, the main currency will continue to be the journey, and giving people a choice of whether they want to do and whether they have what it takes to really get there. Giving them the clarity to understand of who they really want to become is the best way to succeed on social media. Ernest Hemingway was the unexpected founder of influence. And surprisingly, Hemingway always stood his ground as someone who wants to be known for his writing and for his texts. And it's actually his persona and photos that built the most rapport with his audience. He worked closely with journalists, with photographers to build various personas that appeared in war correspondence, in celebrity circles, and even things as far as adventures in Cuba. This sold Hemingway as not only an experienced writer with great works, but someone with an incredible and authentic story to tell right from the inner circles, right from everything that the people wanted to hear. And with the war correspondence, it's not just a Hollywood figure, it's someone that has been through hell and back. It is silly to parallel Hemingway with current day journalists or influencers, but you have to see the Instagram similarities. Hemingway's ability to sell his writing was bound to the ability to sell who he truly was. Your advantage is that you don't need to possess journalist or photographer friends when Instagram and all three of the key formats we've talked about are there for you. You just have to follow the steps we described in terms of authenticity and true, real aesthetic storytelling. When you have all of this unlocked, your product ideas, they become inevitable. Create products that help replicate and decide and build a story similar to yours. Do and create things that would have made your own journey easier looking backwards. When we recently launched the Notion Aesthetic Creator Template, I made it with the same logic in mind. What would I have made to make the start of my content creation journey easier? Whatever the answer is, go and make it.